Welcome back to DHN. I'm Wade Teamer. The AI crypto landscape is about to change forever. Now, I recently published a video about the top AI coins that I think are going to move the market over the next few years. Funnily enough, Fetch AI and AGIX were on that list. Well, now gonna have to do some alterations because Fetch AI, Singularity, as well as Ocean Protocol are getting ready to merge, ladies and gentlemen. But that's not all we're gonna talk about, because Origin Trail, another one of the AI coins on that list, has been making leaps and bounds in the world of generative AI. So we're gonna talk about it in this video. But let's start with this merger between Fetch, Singularity, and Ocean Protocol. So what they're doing is creating the Artificial Superintelligence Alliance, and the approval has gone through as of April 16th. So what's going to happen is that after the voting by the Alliance communities, Fetch and Singularity, the merger is poised to position the ASI token into the ranks of the top 20 largest cryptocurrencies by market cap, with an anticipated value of $7.5 billion. The merger will combine Fetch, AGIX, and Ocean into ASI. Now, this isn't the first of crypto mergers that I've heard of. We were covering Clayton and Phoenicia's merger, which also went through. So this is interesting to see, and I believe it's because of how the AI landscape is changing, not just in the crypto space, but from the mainstream side. Major players are wanting to get involved now, and I think the merging of Fetch, Singularity, and Ocean Protocol, you're bringing three of the most powerful AI protocols together. They got more details on the merger from the token side. It's telling us that we won't have to do anything. If you're holding Fetch on an exchange, then it'll automatically update. The only problem you may run into is if you have Fetch or Singularity or Ocean on a hardware device, you're going to have to go to a third-party link, which you can find on Fetch AI's, on all of their websites. Actually, they have it posted, and then you go through the process from there to convert your tokens into ASI. I'm still waiting for it to pop up on CoinMarketCap. Curious to see what the price is going to be, because between the three of them, I don't think any of them are over $2. So that's going to be very interesting, guys. Main reason why I wanted to cover this is because what they're going to bring together is going to create a lot of power, because individually these chains are insane. Specifically, Fetch AI, they specialize in AI agents, and this is a technology that they have been working on for about 5 years now, and they have a list of integrations that have risen to the top. I'm going to share this list with you. They have an AI integration with GitHub. GitHub is a repository, it acts a little bit like a forum for developers, coders, and things like that, but you can also upload open source information, data, to create projects and things like that. So their integration with GitHub is actually adding to the speed, the data buckets, essentially, that they can access through GitHub. And GitHub, from the mainstream side, from the traditional side, is positioned right there. So that's perfect to see. And then we have the AI web scraper and summarizer. This is another tool that is open source and allows you to search data from the internet and pull it together. It's kind of like ChatGPT with more resources. That's the advantage that AI on blockchain really has. And when we talk about Origin in a second, we're going to see examples of that. And then this one here, EV charger integration. Now, Fetch AI has a very long history in the automobile market. As a matter of fact, one of their biggest partners is Bosch, and they've been incorporating artificial intelligence, AI agents, into self-driving components for a long time. So now they're looking to get into EV charging stations, which what this integration is going to allow users to do is have more accurate data and maps for looking for these EV charging stations. So let's say you're on a highway and you're trying to find one nearest you, gas is running low, you're in an area where, let's just say, your cell service may not be as strong. But with these apps essentially being on a separate network, you always have reliable data. And then, of course, we have the Google Gemini integration, which is very big right now, mainly because of the fact that Google Gemini is trying to compete with the other AI language learning models that are popping up. So Fetch positioning themselves next to a name like Google, that's going to be very big. And with the results of the merger, you can also look at it like this as well. They're going to have 3 times as much resources to make all of these integrations that much more powerful. And then in addition to this, a foundation was formed, Fetch AI Foundation. Now, this is a collaboration between Fetch and Bosch to essentially bring artificial intelligence, blockchain-based applications focused on AI to the mainstream. What interests me so much about this relationship is the synergy. They're all coming together, guys, and it just makes a lot more sense when you really look at the bigger picture when we're talking about crypto. Whether you're dealing with payments, gaming, doesn't matter. This is going to be a multi-chain world. Not one software is going to be able to rule them all. So I encourage collaboration. I like to see it. And some of the recent developments from Fetch, it really gives us an indication of what's going to come around the corner now that this merger is complete. Here's a company, CFE, has joined the Fetch Foundation, and they're focused on the future of energy distribution, energy resources, energy management. That's going to be very interesting to watch roll out, as well as Peak joining Fetch AI and Bosch for DPINs. DPINs is a newer narrative that has hit the space. It stands for Decentralized Physical Infrastructure Networks. And actually, wouldn't you know it, that was brought to the market by Solana, funnily enough, but it spread through. And having artificial intelligence in these DPIN networks, these DPIN networks are essentially private networks for the gig economy, the self-employed, the digital nomads, those who are constantly traveling for work and they get paid in different currencies. There's a lot of people out here like that, but they struggle with receiving payment from one country to the next and currency conversion. Not only that, let's say you are a digital nomad and you're working for a company that isn't that quite reputable. They're supposed to send you a payment and they don't. Well, if you met them and they were using a DPIN network where smart contracts exist and artificial intelligence is coming thanks to Fetch AI, well, that payment would hit your account thanks to a smart contract, whether or not they were awake to see it. So that's the world that we're entering in. And again, the combination of Fetch, Singularity, and Ocean is just going to make all of these things so much stronger. And on top of that, Dutch Telecom was another big player that joined the Fetch Foundation. This was back in March. Now, Dutch Telecom, they're very, very out there when it comes to blockchain technology. It's something that they've been a part of for many years. They've partnered with many projects, Energy Web, IOTA, IOTX. It's a lot of obscure projects. You probably wouldn't have heard of them. But doing a quick Google search, you'll see that Dutch Telecom has been around for a minute when it comes to blockchain. And it's really an interesting pairing because we have telecom on a wireless on blockchain. That is going to create a very interesting world. And it's not just telecom that they're looking to adapt to blockchain. Dutch Telecom spans all across many industries, from supply chains to retail networks. So all of that points to a very prosperous setup for this new collaboration. Now, earlier we were talking about Origin Trail, and when I looked into this story, it made me, fish around and see what else was going on in the AI space. And Origin Trail's focus seems to be this new protocol that they're implementing on top of their decentralized knowledge graph, which is their DKG. They're working on something called decentralized retrieval augmented generation. Yeah, I'm not going to get that deep into these guys. I'm just going to show you, though, where it's being used. So back in March, they were testing it within a version of the NVIDIA ecosystem. And then shortly after that, they collaborated with Google Gemini. So what this system is providing for these services, Gemini and NVIDIA, typically with a language learning model like a ChatGPT, you go to ask it a question and it's pulling sources. It's pulling information from certain sources only the sources that were initially programmed into it. If you want to get an idea of where those sources are, just look at some of the lawsuits that OpenAI is dealing with right now. What decentralized RAG is going to do is essentially take those resources and spread them out, bring in more. So we're talking about more reputable places, more reputable outlets, even more information on language. You know how, and this is definitely a far-fetched thought on it, but when you use AI softwares, they typically give back general lifeless responses. With this decentralized RAG, I'm assuming that this is going to, because it's adding to the repository of resources that these models pull from to give you answers, it's going to make those answers and responses even more accurate and even more human in a way. Again, it is very complicated. Artificial intelligence, I'm not going to claim to be an expert, but I recognize that the space is moving forward. And at the end of the day, we're all investors here, ladies and gentlemen. So if I'm eyeing something in the market, if I'm eyeing an investment, watching it develop, I'm going to share it with you. Now, this one was also interesting. This happened a few days ago. Polkabot, centralizing AI with Origin Trail and Polkadot. So this is, let's just read into this a little bit and get an idea, because I went over the headline, but I didn't want to bog down everyone with these huge terms, but it does sum it up pretty nicely right here at the top. So the explosive rise of artificial intelligence has sparked the first stages of new knowledge revolution, comparable historically with the invention of the printing press or the World Wide Web. Its sudden growth also pointed at some of the threats and shortfalls, such as hallucinations, bias, mishandling of IP rights, and even potential AI model collapses. Both the opportunities and challenges of this knowledge revolution are showing the need for convergence between crypto, internet, and AI in a verifiable internet for AI proposed by Origin Trail. The verifiable internet for AI is effectively addressing AI shortfalls by decentralizing knowledge that AI systems use in their solutions. One of the pioneering implementations of the approach is Polkabot AI, a decentralized AI education hub on Polkadot, which will see its full release in the coming months after receiving support from the Treasury. So we're going to pull this up and mute it, but it's going to give us a demonstration of what this is going to be. It's a combination of using Origin Trail's DKG, which is in essence a blockchain version of ChatGPT, and combining it with the Polkadot network. Boy, that was fast, which is a good thing, right? So this will be interesting to watch unfold, because Polkadot has not had it easy. And I think it's because when they got into the space, they wanted to compete with Ethereum. Then they wanted to get into Web3. Then they wanted to get into gaming. Then they wanted to get into payments. And now it seems that they're getting into AI. I just hope that they pick somewhere and stick with it. Okay. But with that, guys, don't want to take up too much of your time. Things are shaking up in the AI space, and I love to see it. Again, Origin Trail, definitely one of the AI coins that I would suggest you watch out for. And with this new merger going on, we will be covering the developments on it to see where this ASI token is going to end up, what it's going to look like. And again, if you're holding Fetch, Singularity, or Ocean on an exchange, you won't have to worry about anything. All of your balances will just convert over to the new token. So speaking of tokens, if you're looking to buy some crypto, I'm using Uphold right now. Link to that will be in the description. You can also, on Uphold, I've been meaning to tell people this, invest in other currencies and other commodities, ladies and gentlemen. Talking gold, silver, things like that. Check it out, link in the description. After I do move my crypto assets, though, from Uphold, they go straight to my hardware wallet, which is the SafePal hardware wallet. They're one of our channel partners. So yes, if you choose to use the link in the description, I do get compensated. I want to thank you in advance. Now, it's time for the best part. If that money is digital, so is the hustle.